Hello, everybody, and we're back with the second game of the doubleheader between the Kansas City A's and the New York Yankees. Both teams have made some changes here in the second game. Leading off, playing shortstop for the A's is Dick Hauser. Batting second, playing left field is Jay Hackins. Batting third, playing third is Wayne Casey. Batting fourth, playing first base is Norm Sebring. Batting fifth, playing second is Jerry Lumpy. Batting sixth, doing the catching is Hayward Sullivan. Batting seventh, playing right field is Gene Stevens. Batting eighth, playing center field is Bobby Del Greco. And on the mound, former Yankee Art Detmer doing the pitching. And the Yankees made some changes too, brought in a lot of lefties. You got Bobby Richards playing second, leading off. Batting second, playing shortstop's Tony Kubek. Batting third, playing right field's Roger Maris. Batting fourth, playing center field's Mickey Mantle. Batting fifth, playing first base is Bill Skowron. Batting sixth, playing left field Yogi Berra. Batting seventh, doing the catching is Johnny Blanchard. Batting eighth, playing third base is Billy Gardner. And batting ninth on the mound is Ralph Terry. See if the Yankees can come back here in the second game. Let's get down to Yankee Stadium and get this game started, folks. And here's the first pitch to Dick Hauser, only hitting .217. Not a very good year so far for Dick. And that's going to be a base on balls right away. Dick Hauser walks down the first, folks. Not what you want to see if you're a Yankees fan here. Ralph Terry already walking the first batter. And that'll bring up Mr. Hank Hawkins here. He's only batting 198, folks. And that's going to be a pop-up behind the home plate. And Johnny Blanchard's going to make the catch for out number one. That'll bring up Wayne Casey now. Casey's hitting .246 on the year. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Kubek up with it. He's going to fire over to second. They won't turn two, but they at least get the lead runner. That'll bring up Norm Sebring up. Casey down at first. He's batting .274 on the year. And that is going to be a single. Beats out an infield hit, folks. So we got first and second now with 2 outs. With Sebring down at first. Casey down at second for Jerry Lumpy. He's hitting .266 on the year. And that's going to be a pop-up. And near the dugout, Johnny Blanchard makes the catch for out number 3. So the A's leave 2. We go to the bottom of the first. It's A's nothing. Yankees due up here against Art. We'll have Richardson, Kubek, and Maris. Bobby's up to .245 now. See if he can keep it up here. And that's going to be a pop-up straight up the chute. Sullivan's got it for out number 1. That brings up Tony Kubek now. Tony's batting .283 on the year, folks. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 outs. It's up to Roger now to keep this first inning alive. Maris hitting .259 on the year, folks. And that's going to be a single over second. And Roger, it's that ball, and Del Greco goes over to field it. And that's going to be an E8 on him, folks. And that's going to get Roger in the scoring position for Mick. See if Mick can take advantage of this now. Roger down at second with 2 outs with a base hit and an error on Del Greco. He went one too far here. We'll back him up. So let's get Roger down the second. Roger down the second. Can Mick drive him in? Mick's hitting 292 on the year, folks. And no, that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And Lumpy's up with it. He fires over the first, and they strand Roger at second, folks. When we get to the top of the second, it's 0-0. We got Sullivan, Stevens, and Del Greco due up here for the A's. And let's see, the Gators only hitting $177. We just lost the dice. Where did it go? And that's going to be a fly ball in the right field. Rogers got it all day and all night for out number 1. That brings up Gene Stevens. Gene's hitting 258 on the year. Off to a good start here. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 1. 1-0-1 pitch now from Terry. And that ball is smacked down the third. Gardner's down there today, playing back-to-back games. He fires over the first for out number 2. That brings up Bobby Del Greco. Bobby hitting 246 on the year. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. And he'll take it himself. Moose Will steps on the bag. 1, 2, 3 goes the A's. We go to the bottom of the second. We got Scowen, Bear, Blanchard due up. So Scowen and then the Killer Bees. And Johnny's hitting, Moose rather, is hitting 293 on the year. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Casey at third. He's up with it, fires over the first, 1 out. Brings up Yogi. And that's going to be a pop up on the infield. And Dick Hauser calls for it, makes the catch near the grass for out number 2. That brings up Johnny Blanchard. Only hitting 220 on the year, folks. Off to a very slow start. And it's not picking up yet. That ball's hit down the Lumpy at second. He fires over to first. 1, 2, 3 goes the Yanks. We go to the top of the third. It's still 0-0. DITMAR, Hauser, and Hankins due up. And Art's not batting bad. 167 on the year, folks. And that's going to be a pop up, and Tony Kubek takes charge of that near the mound, makes the catch for out number 1. Back to the top of the order now, and Dick Hauser, he walked his first time up. And that's going to be a single in the left. Hauser's aboard there. On at first now with 1 out. And Dick's off with the first pitch, folks. He's trying to steal on old Johnny Blanchard. Here's the throw from Blanchard. Down the second. And Hauser's going to be in there with a stolen base, folks. So 1 out with a runner on second now. 0-1 pitch to Hankins. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout for Terry. 2 outs now. Brings up Wayne Casey. Casey's 0 for 1. Reached on the fielder's choice his first time up. And he's going to get a hit this time, folks. And that'll probably score Hauser. And that ball's hit in the right field. Dick Hauser a score, and that'll put the A's on the board, folks. It's 1-0 Kansas City. That brings up Norm Sebring with Hauser down at first with 2 outs. And Norm's 1 for 1, singled his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. Actually, that's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. And Rouse got it, fires over the first for out number 1. Hey, Tim, how's it going? So that ends the inning, but the A's strike first and take a 1-0 lead. As we go to the bottom of the third, we got Gardner, Terry, and Richardson due up here for the Yankees. Billy's hitting 255 on the year for the Yanks. See if he can get on here. And that is going to be a base hit in the left field. So Billy Gardner's aboard here, folks, with a base hit. That'll bring up Ralph Terry. He's going to try to sacrifice him in the scoring position here, folks. Terry's hitting 175 on the year. And that's going to be a nice bunt down there, folks. Right back to the pitcher's mound. His only play is going to be over to first with Lumpy covering. And that'll get Gardner in the scoring position for Bobby Richardson now with one out. Runner down at second. Let's see if Bobby can be a hero and tie this game up, folks. He's 0 for 1 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Actually, that's a pop-up down the short. And Hauser makes the play. Glad to hear it, bud. Oh, you're welcome. So now there's 2 outs now for Tony Kubek. Can Tony get a 2-out base hit? He struck out his first time against Art. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field, and that'll score Gardner. And that ties this ball game up, folks. It's 1 apiece. And that brings up the M&M boys. And if you watched the first game, you know what that means. Sure. Rogers 1 for 1. He singled and reached second on an error off of Del Greco. Can he do something here with Kubek down at first? And he most certainly can, folks. That's a single in the center. Kubek's going to motor on down the third. And we got first and third for the Mick. So the M&M boys are starting to light it up here, folks. See what Mick can do. He's 0 for 1, grounded out the second his first time up. Can he give the Yankees a lead here? You got Kubek down at third and Maris down at first. Pitch to Mick, and they don't want nothing to do with the Mick. They walk the bases loaded, folks. And that'll bring up Moose. Nowhere to put the Moose. Can he get the Art here and bust this game open for the Yanks? He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And as good as Casey was in game number 1, he's not today, folks. That's going to get by him off his glove. That's going to be a 2-base error. That'll score 2, folks. And Mick was going to end up down at second. And we got second and third and 2 outs. And the Yankees take a 3-1 lead here on the error by Wayne Casey. Scouring down at second, Mick at third. Yogi up now. Can Yogi add to this 3-1 lead, folks? Here's the pitch to Yogi. And that's going to end the inning, but the Yankees score 3. That ball is hit down the third. Short this time, rather. Hauser's up with it. He fires over the first, but the Yankees score 3 and take the lead. 3-1 New York as we go to the top of the 4th. We got Lumpy, Sullivan, and Stevens due up here for the A's. Lumpy's 0 for 1. And that's going to be an easy ground ball down to Kubek. He fires over the Moose for out number 1. And here comes Sullivan. He says it's going to be a really, really big show tonight. Oh, Hayward. He's 0 for 1. And he's going to be 0 for 2 as that's a fly ball in the left field. Yogi's out there today. He camps under it and makes the catch for out number 2. That brings up Gene the dancing machine. Stevens, he's 0 for 1, grounded out the third his first time up. And he's going to give it a try again. And Gardner's up to the task. He plants, throws. And that is 1, 2, 3 goes the A's here in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Blanchard, Gardner, and Terry due up here. Johnny's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a ball 1-0 count now on Blanchard. Can he take advantage of this, folks? And he takes a walk's what he does. Art walks Johnny. He trots one down the first. So the lead runner's aboard here for Gardner. Gardner's having a good game, both fielding and at the bat. He's 1 for 1 and scored. See what he can do here with Blanchard down at first. And he gets a hold of this one, folks, off of Art. And he blasts that ball into right field. And Blanchard will stop at third. And Gardner's got himself a stand-up double, folks. So we got second and third and nobody out here for Ralph Terry. And the A's will bring the infield in. Let's see if Terry can help his own cause. He had a successful sacrifice bunt his first time up. Let's see what he can do here, folks. And we don't need no stinking DH. That's a base hit over first base. And that's going to score both runners, folks. Stevens goes over, cuts it off, keeps Terry down there at first. But that's a 2 RBI single for Ralph Terry. And the Yankees lead 5-1, folks. Like we say on this channel, we don't need no stinking DH. That brings up Bobby Richardson now. He's 0 for 2. He's popped up the short and to the catcher. And that's going to be a pop up on the infield. He's determined to give everybody an opportunity. And that's going to be down to Dick Hauser again. So that's 1 out here now in the 4th. With Ralph Terry down at first, Quebec's up. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI today, folks. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Tony trots on down to first, and that brings up the M&M boys now. Here's Roger. He's 2 for 2 today, folks. He's got that batting average up to 262. He's barely been hitting the cover off the ball. It's probably just jinxed him. Here's the pitch to Roger. And I did jinx him. That figures. That's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. And his only plays over to first. The runners will advance. So we got second and third now for the Mick. And does Art pitch to the Mick? I don't think he pitches to the Mick. The Mick's been hitting good too. So that's going to be an intentional walk to Mick. Mick trots on down to first. That'll load the bases. And that'll bring up Moose. See what Moose can do. He reached on that error that scored 2 his last time up. See what happens this time. See if Moose can drive 2 more in, or maybe even more. Here's the pitch to Moose. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. The Yankees lead the bases loaded, but they scored 2 on the Ralph Terry single, folks, and take a 5-1 lead. So we go to the top of the 5th. Del Grosso, maybe a pitch hitter for Art already, with a 5-1 lead, and Dick Hauser. Let's see what happens here. Del Grosso's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Bobby Richardson. He's got it. Fires over the first for out number 1. And they're going to let Art hit. I think if Bobby would have got on, they'd have pitched hit for him. Here's the pitch to Art. He's 0 for 1. And he's 0 for 2. That's a swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down here in the 5th. Now Dick Hauser's up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 3rd. Nice play by Gardner. He fires over to first. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th. We got Bear, Blanchard, and Gardner. The Killer Bees are up. Yogi's 0 for 2. They do have bullpen action up for the A's here. If Art gets in any trouble, it'll be a short hook. So Yogi's up now. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. Yogi's down on strikes. 1 down. Here's Mr. Blanchard. He walked his last time and scored. Let's see if he can get on again, folks. And that ball is high. That ball is far. That ball is gone, folks. Home run, Johnny Blanchard. His 13th of the year, folks. That makes it a 6-1 ball game. Here's Billy Gardner, who's having one heck of a game, folks. He's 2 for 2, a double and scored both times. And make it 3 for 3. Gardner is a hitting machine, folks. That ball's driven right over Dick Hauser's head. He leaps and can't make the catch. Gardner's aboard again. And with a 5-run lead, they're going to let Terry swing away, folks. He singled his last time up and drove in, too. See what he does now. Hitting a $195 on the year. And that's going to be a pop-up on the infield. And Dick Hauser calls everybody off, makes the catch for out number 2. So we're back to the top of the order. Bobby Richardson. Bobby's 0 for 3. He's been hitting good here lately. Let's see if he can get a base hit here. And yes, he does. He drives that ball into center field. And that'll get Gardner down the third. So we got first and third now for Tony Kubek. 2 out here. Art trying to get through this 5th inning. He's already gave up the home run, the Blanchard. Tony's having a good game. 1 for 2, walked. His only other plate appearance, he struck out. Excuse me. And that's going to be a fly ball in the right field. Gene, the dancing machine's out there, makes the catch. The Yankees strand 2, but score 1 on the Blanchard home run. We go to the top of the 6th. It's 6-1 Yankees. We got Hank Hatkins up. Wayne Casey and Norm Sebring due up here for the A's. Oh, Hank's 0 for 2. He struck out his last time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Billy Gardner up with it, having a fine game here, folks. That's out number 1. Oh, yeah. That's my favorite story, Tim. I love that story about him and Billy. Yeah. Yep. That, and like I say, the other ones, freaking Billy Martin, like I say, he crazy. He says, what was you doing? He says, I shot 2 or 3 of his cows. Damn Billy. Joke on Mick. Mick thought he was going to get the old Billy, and Billy turned the tables not knowing it. Yeah, that is a great story. Yep. Did you hear the other Mickey Mantle, Billy Martin story? Mick and Billy's out drinking, so they're sneaking back in the hotel room. They can't get in, so they find a window on the second floor that's unopened. So Billy says to Mick, I'm lighter than you. You hoist me up. I'll go in, I'll come down and open up the side door and let you in. So Mick's in his brand new suit, all looking good, and they're out there in the back alley and trash and all, and he gets him up. He's stomping all over Mick, got his suit all messed up, gets in the window, goes down, and they got the damn door padlocked with a chain. And he yells to Mick, sorry, Mick, I can't open the door. So Mick stranded out there in the alleyway, all muddy and shit. And Billy's up there laughing his ass off. Poor Mick has to try to figure out another way to get in the damn hotel without getting caught. Crazy. Guys are nuts. Yeah. Alrighty. We got Casey up here now with 1 out. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. Nice piece of hitting by Casey. He's aboard here with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Brings up Norm Sebring. And let's see here. Norm's 1 for 2, folks. Here's the pitch from Ralph Terry. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Norm. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. And all of a sudden, Ralph's got himself in a little bit of a pickle here, folks. Runners on first and third, and only 1 out. The Yankees will play back for the double play. Sebring's not very fleet of foot. Lumpy's not that fast either. Looking for a ground ball. Lumpy did ground out the short his last time up. The Yankees like to see that, maybe turn it into 2. But that's not going to happen, folks. That's going to be a fly ball in the center field, and that's going to be deep enough to score Casey. And that's going to make it a 6-2 ball game, folks. Sebring stays down at first. Hal Sullivan up with 2 outs. Norm down at first. And Sullivan's 0 for 2. He's waiting for the really big show to start. And that really big show just started because he squares this one up, folks. And that ball is hit well. That ball is driven into right field. Mick and Maris is chasing it around the wall. Mick finally gets to it. And that brown-eyed, handsome man is going to end up down at third. And all of a sudden, the A's have made this a 6-3 ball game, folks. 2 outs now, a runner down at third. See if Terry can get out of this mess. 2 runs here in the 6th. And Gene's up. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out the third his first 2 times up. And he ain't grounding out this time. He gets a hold of this, folks. And that ball is deep. That ball is far. That ball is gone. And just like that, it's a 1-run ball game, folks. Gene Stevens with this 3rd home run of the season. And it's a 6-5 ball game. The Yankees were cruising until the 6th inning here. Here's Bobby Del Greco's up now. He's 0 for 2. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. Terry can't get this final out, folks. They go out to talk to Terry. He says he can get him. Art's up now. I think now you do pitch hit for Art. So Art's coming out of the game. Tying run down at first to go ahead run at the plate. And Jim Revere is going to come up here and pitch hit for Art. And the A's are all of a sudden back in this game. Yeah, exactly, Tim. Crazy. Here comes Jim up. Jim's hitting 250 on the year. The pitch from Ralph. And he's going to get him there. He flies out the deep center field, but Mick makes the catch out near the monuments. The Yankees finally get out of the inning after 4 runs are scored, folks. And it is now 6-5. See who's going to come in here and pitch. You got Maris, Mantle. So you got a lefty, a switchy, and then a righty. See who they're going to bring in here. Going to bring in Lenny, or are they going to bring in Bill? Let's see here. And I think they're going to bring in Bill. Bill's going to come in here to pitch. Bill Knuckles coming in to pitch. He'll be facing the M&M boys and then scouring. See if the Yankees can get some insurance around here after Ralph gave up the 4 runs in the 6th. So we got Maris, Mantle, and Scouring. Rogers 2 for 3 here today, folks. Can he go 3 for 4? And no, that's going to be a pop-up behind home plate. Sullivan's got it, and that's 1 out here in the 6th. That brings up the Mick. Let's see if Mick can get something going. He's 0 for 1, walked twice today. And that's going to be a fly ball in the right field. Gene's got it. Quick 2 outs here in the 6th. That'll bring up the Moose. Scourin is 0 for 3. He's due, folks. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. Bill bobbles that one, messes that one up, and Scourin's on again with an error. That's the second time today he's reached on an error, folks. So Moose down at first for Yogi. Yogi's 0 for 3. And he is now going to be 0 for 4. As that's a ground ball back to the mound, I believe. Yep, that ball's hit back to Bill. This time he fields it cleanly, fires over the Sebring, and they leave Moose down at first. We go to the top of the 7th. It's still a 6-5 ball game. We got Hauser, Hankins, and Casey due up here for the A's, top of the order. Dick's 1 for 2 with a stolen base. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Bobby Richardson. He's up with it. He fires over the first, 1 out. Brings up Hank Hankins. It's easy for me to say, which it is pretty easy this time. He's 0 for 3. And that is going to be a fly ball in the center field. Mick takes a few steps back, makes the catch. And that's 2 quick outs here in the 7th. Brings up Wayne Casey now. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI and scored. And that's a fly ball in the right field. Roger over near the pole makes the catch, folks. 1, 2, 3 goes the A's. We go to the 7th inning stretch. We got Blanchard, Gardner, and probably a pitch hitter for Terry here. See what happens. Johnny's 1 for 2 with that home run, folks. And that's going to be a ball 1-0 pitch. Can Johnny take advantage of it? No, he hits that ball, tops it down the second. Jerry Lumpy's got it, and that'll be out number 1. Brings up Billy Gardner. He's having one hell of a game here, folks. He's 3 for 3 with a double and scored twice. And that's not going to get her done. That's driven down to Casey at third. Near the line, he fires over the Sebring, and that's the second out. Since nobody's on, we're going to let Ralph hit here. He's 1 for 2. And that's going to be a fly ball into the left field. Hankins has got it, and that'll end the inning. You go to the top of the 8th. Yankees holding on to a 1-run lead. They got Luis up in the bullpen if Ralph gets in any trouble here, folks. He's got Sebring, Lumpy, and Sullivan due up. Sebring's 2 for 3, having a good game. He scored. And that's a pop-up behind home plate near the screen. Blanchard makes the catch, 1 down. Tough game is right. I thought they was going to cruise. Got out to that 6-run lead. That brings up Jerry Lumpy. He's 0 for 2 with the sacrifice flies last time up. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. And that ball is hit into the gap in right field. And he's standing down at second now with 1 out. And they're going to let Ralph pitch to Sullivan. So Sullivan's going to hit here. He's 1 for 3 with a triple. And this will probably be Ralph's last batter because Stevens is due up. He's a lefty. And Luis will probably come in and pitch to him. So let's see if Ralph can get out of this mess here. And he gets a big swing and a miss, strike 3. Sullivan's down on strikes. Like I said, I think that's going to be it for Ralph. We're going to go to the bullpen here and bring the lefty in to face Stevens. See if the A's counter and bring in some pitch hitter here. Luis comes in here, the pitch. So Terry can't lose it. The runner on second, still his responsibility. So he could end up with a no decision at the worst for him. See if they're going to pitch it here for Stevens. And I do think they're going to bring in think they're going to bring in Posada for Stevens. So Posada is going to come in to pitch hit for Stevens. They're going to get a righty in here against Luis. There's Leo. And he'll stay in the game. And he's hitting 232 on the year. Lumpy down at second. And that's a fly ball in the center field. Yogi's got room out there. Makes the catch. And the Yankees get out of it with nobody scoring, folks. We go to the bottom of the eighth. It's still a one-run ball game here. Let's put Posada in the game here. Put him in right field. All righty. Bill will be facing Richardson, Quebec, and Maris here in the eighth. Can the Yankees help Luis out and get some extra runs here, folks, for the top of the ninth? Bobby Richardson's 1 for 4. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Wayne Casey at third. He's up with it. Takes his time. Fires over to first for out number 1. Brings up Quebec. Tony's having a good game. He's 1 for 3 and walked. He has an RBI and he scored. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. Tony gets on board for the M&M boys. See if they can make something happen here. Quebec down at first for Roger. Roger's 2. See if he can keep this up. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. I'm sorry, that's an infield hit. And that's going to make first and second for the Mick. I think that's going to be it for Bill. He's due up second here, but they got to get to him. Let's see here. I think they're going to bring in who are they going to bring in? They're going to bring in old Lou. Lou's going to come in here and pitch to Maris. See if he can get through this 8th inning. With nobody out. Quebec down at second. Down at first, rather. Bobby down at second. For Roger Maris. Mickey Mantle. What am I talking about? Quebec down at second. I was right. Maris down at first. 1 out for the Mick. We'll get this shit straight yet. So the Mick's 0 for 2. 2 walks. Can he be the guy that makes this at least a 2-run game? Here's the pitch to Mick. And no, he can't. They don't want no parts of the Mick. He's going to trot on down the first, and that's going to load the bases up for the Moose. So Lee, old Lou out there, he didn't want nothing to do with Mick. And the Moose is up. He's 0 for 4. He's reached twice on airs, though, folks. He had a big hit down to Casey. That was a 2-base error that scored 2. See what Moose can do now with the bases loaded, folks. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field over the first base bag, folks. And that'll advance everybody 1 base as Posada gets over there, cuts it off, and the Yankees go station to station, but they get a big run here and still got the bases loaded for Yogi. And it's a 7-5 ball game. Yogi's 0 for 4. See if he can get off the snide here, Mr. Clutch. No, that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Can they turn 2? And Casey's going to take out himself. He's going to step on the bag, and that's going to be the only play. So Rogers going to score, folks. And we're going to have first and second now for Blanchard. And it's now an 8-5 ball game. Johnny's already homered in this game. Can he go with his second one, folks? No, that's a deep fly ball in the left field, but that's Death Valley out there. Hankins runs over, makes the catch. The Yankees scored 2 and give themselves a breathing room. It's 8-5. See what happens here in the top of the ninth. Del Grosso, a pitch hitter in. Hauser due up. Bobby is 1 for 3, though. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Maris at right field. That is out number 1. And we'll have a pitch hitter here. Let's see who's going to pitch hit. Go with Darren Johnson's going to pitch hit. All righty, Johnson only hitting a $185 on the year, folks. And that's a fly ball out to left field. Yogi's near the line. He's going to make the catch for out number 2. A's are down to their last out. It's Dick Hauser, who's having a darn good game. Let's see if he can keep this alive. He's 1 for 3 with a walk, a stolen base, and scored. And that's all she wrote, folks. That's a ground ball down the third. Billy Gardner's up with it. He fires over to Moose, and that is your ball game. The Yankees win 8-5. Take a look at the box score here. Game number 2 of this doubleheader. So the Yankees get the split. Should have swept this doubleheader. Let's see here. A lot of runs scored in those 2 games, folks. The A's, 5 runs on 9 hits and 3 errors. The Yankees, 8 runs on 12 hits and no errors. And those errors were big errors. Casey was 2 for 4. Sebring 2 for 4. The A's was 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position. The Stevens with that 2-run homer. Casey with a big error. Delgado with an error. Kunkel with an error. You had Roger going 3 for 5 today, folks. He's really hitting the cover off the ball. Mick was 0 for 2, but they didn't want to pitch to him, folks. He walked 3 times. You had Blanchard with the home run. The Yankees left 11 on base, folks. They was 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. The ex-Yankee Art Detmer, he got busted around. 5 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs. Only 4 of them was earned, though. Walked 4, struck out 3, and gave up the home run. And Kunkel came in 2 1/3, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. And then Castry came in 2/3 of an inning, easy for me to say. 1 hit and walked 1. Ralph Terry goes 7 2/3, 9 hits, 5 runs, walked 1, struck out 3, and gave up a home run. Luis comes in and pitches an inning and a third and shuts the door. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. Let's do some fast play here. We got the Twins traveling to Baltimore for a doubleheader. See what happens down here in B-More. Twins have been on a roll here lately, folks. And they still are. They shut the Orioles out. 3 runs on 5 hits and an error. The Orioles, no runs on 3 hits and no errors. Can the Orioles bounce back and get a split in this doubleheader? I think that's the Orioles' 4th loss in a row. Thank you, Tim. And the Orioles do bounce back and win a close one. The Twins 1 run on 5 hits and no errors. The Orioles only 2 runs on 10 hits, though, and 1 error, and they must have won that game late. Strock came in and pitched an inning and got the win. Take a look at the box score here. And the 10th inning, how about that? The Orioles were down 1-0 going into the ninth, scored in the ninth, and then scored the winning run in the 10th. Sure, how they score here. Let's take a look. Home run by Earl Robbins, a pitch hit home run in the ninth inning, and then a double, a base on balls, and then Jackie Brandt with an RBI single. They didn't get a single out in the 10th. How about that? Hell of a game. Now we got the A's traveling to Boston to take on the Red Sox for a doubleheader. See what happens here. California coming to the East Coast. And the Angels beat up on the Red Sox. And the Red Sox left 16 runners on base, folks. Angels 9 runs on 12 hits and no errors. And the Red Sox 3 runs on 11 hits and no errors. Sure. He only pitched 1 inning and got the win, huh? See how that happened. Came in and pitched the 8th. They score that many runs after the 8th? Oh, they scored 12. They scored 6 runs in the 12th. That game went extra innings, folks. It was a 3-3 ball game, and the Angels scored 6 runs in the 12th inning. Crazy. Sure. See what they did here. Started off with a single, then reached on a fielder's choice, a walk, single, an RBI single, and then a grand salami, folks. And then they hit the guy. Amazing hit by pitch. I bet you that almost caused a brawl. Crazy game there. 6 runs in the 12th inning. Let's see if the Red Sox can bounce back here, folks. Get a split in this doubleheader. No, the Angels beat up on them again. 7 runs on 11 hits and no errors. And the Red Sox get shut out. 6 hits and no errors. Now we got the White Sox traveling to Cleveland for a doubleheader here. One of my favorite pitchers. I love his name. Old Mudcat Grant pitching for the Indians. See what old Mudcat can do. Sure, what a wild game that was. White Sox 11 runs on 14 hits and no errors. The Indians 10 runs on 13 hits and 2 errors. White Sox, that game must have went into extra innings or something. Let's check this out. Top of the ninth. White Sox winning in the ninth inning, folks. Cleveland scored 7 runs in the 8th. Sure. To take a 10-9 lead and lose it in the top of the ninth. Look at that 8th inning. The White Sox scored 5 runs in the 8th. Crazy games. Crazy games. See what happens here in the doubleheader. Can the Indians get a split? Yeah, I agree with you. And the Indians do come back and get the split. The White Sox 1 run on 6 hits and no errors. The Indians 5 runs on 8 hits and no errors. And the final 2 games is the Senators traveling to Detroit to take on the Tigers in the doubleheader. Let's see what happens here, folks. Tigers have been stumbling. See if they can get back to winning here. And the Tigers win a close one. The Senators 5 runs on 8 hits and an error. And the Tigers 6 runs on 17 hits and no error. That game must have went into extra innings or something. Let's see how that happened. Yep, the Tigers won that in the 10th inning, folks. Yeah, sure. A lot of great ball games here on August 2nd. See if the Senators can come back and get a split here, folks. And they do. The Senators. Let's see what the Stars about here. The Tigers left 15 runners on base. Yeah, a lot of overtime. Exactly, Tim. Yeah, a lot of great games, I tell you. Senators, 5 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors. The Tigers, 3 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors. Tigers left 15 runners on base, folks. See how many walks there was. Senators walked 6 batters. Crazy. Let's take a look at the standings now in the leaderboard here after August 2nd for the American League. Yankees are still 4.5 games up on the Tigers. Orioles are 5.5 games back still. The Twins are 8.5 games back. White Sox are 10. Angels 18.5. Indians 23. Look at this. Boston has lost 11 in a row, folks. Are now 24 games back. Jeez, you Pete. The Senators are 31.5 games back, and the A's are 34.5 games back. Jim is leading the league with a .330 batting average. And old Roger Maris, 45 home runs, folks, leading the American League. Let's see what that comes out to be. That's through 104 games. See what pace he's on here. So 45 home runs in 104 games. I think that's what the Yankees have played. Let's check here. Yep, 104 games. So he's on pace to hit 70, folks. Norm Cash with 98 RBIs is leading the league. Look at the pitching here. Bunning still leading the league with a 2 ERA with his 17 wins. Luis now with 25 saves on the year. And Norm Cash is barely outdoing Roger with the MVP. And Bunning's got the lead in the Cy Young. Look at Roger hitting .333 in his last 10 games with 9 RBIs. Yep. Elston Howard with a 9-game hitting streak. Not bad. So our next game on the channel is going to be a doubleheader with the Braves. They'll be playing the Cubbies in a doubleheader. Mr. Cub says it's a good day to play too. Yep, the Braves go to Wrigley to play too. Mr. Cubby says it's a good day to play too. I want to thank Tim D for stopping by here, folks. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And on your way out of Yankee Stadium, hit that bell for reminders, hit that like button, and leave a comment. Heck of a good game. And a lot of other good games on August 2nd. Oh, you're welcome, Tim. Thank you for stopping by, bud. Appreciate it. So until next time, you all have a great evening and take care.